So, one last question. Like I said, we might touch on this a little bit, but how do you make it as an artist? Like, how do you survive? That's a really big question if it's going that way. But how do you survive in today's society as an artist, continuing to do your art, continuing to why is everyone laughing? Oh, sorry. Okay.
This is what I really appreciate about Naomi. She's always just thinking big about things. It's exciting.
Let's get right in there. But we have, in some ways, the reason I say that is because we have a responsibility to you. I really believe there's a saying in Africa called Mbutu, which is basically that I am who I am because of you. There's this sense in Africa where our lives are so interconnected, and with, like, getting back to what you were saying at the beginning, just the sense of responsibility to the other. And you know, it's a big question, because I really believe that we've put artists on stage, we've taken them out of the community, and in doing that, we've separated ourselves and separated our responsibility to them. And so, you know, going at the big jugular of how do you survive as an artist is not just like, it's not just to kind of, you know, go for the big issue, but it's also to help enlighten us of how we can support you and the responsibility to artists, I guess. You can say I have no idea what you're talking about, and we'll get on with some music.
Well, how do you support yourself as an artist? Day job.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of, I met like some younger people that seem to think that like music's really cool and it's like a really good way to, you know, be popular or something. And I suppose sometimes those things are true, but it's, I don't know. I think when you really look at what the arts and what they look like, and if it just has to be something that you really love and you really care about, because it's, you know, it's if you're looking for a career that's like financially really smart and like you want to make lots of money, don't work in the arts.
Yep.
You do it for the love, and you know, we could have this conversation for a long time, I'm sure, but I think that in some ways it's almost good, you know, because it kind of filters out people that just want to kind of do it to be famous or something. I don't know, but yeah, you need to. Hopefully, you can do other things that are. I mean, there's lots of ways arts can be involved in what you do in your work. You know, if you're a designer, or I mean, there's so many different ways to be creative. I mean, our whole world is kind of built on creativity, really, creativity in you know, making food or making, you know, beers to drink or coffee to drink. I don't know. Those are all creative things. So when I think about that, I'm like, how can we do this? How can we make this better? How can we improve on this? That's kind of the really fascinating thing to me about kind of human beings. We're always looking for ways to like come up with ideas and make something out of nothing. And that's kind of, yeah, I don't know if I'm really answering your question.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes wonder whether we have set ourselves up in the arts as artists where, you know, you've made it when you can live and make money, and, you know, and from that, and maybe it was never intended to be like that. Maybe it was intended that artists need to stay grounded in life and be able to write out of their experiences of just doing the day job as well as working on their art. I don't know. I sometimes wonder that whether we've kind of, you know, made it this unattainable thing. Only the few get to make it full time and be doing it full time. I don't know.
I don't think anyone who's in the arts would turn down doing it full time.
Sure, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Zaac wouldn't. No, I agree. But it's funny. I was reading some history, and the Celts, they used to have many moons ago in the UK. The communities used to support their artists. Like they paid them to be artists in their community and gave them money, and they were kind of pretty high up in the community structure. Artists were like up there, and when I heard that, I was just like, wow, you know, that's incredible. And their purpose was to write for their community, to do art for their community, and that's how much it was valued. And I don't know, I thought, oh, that would be nice. Yeah.
I think historically, I mean, there's, you know, lots of the great art of the world that people flock to Europe or other places to see is, most of it, I think, is art that was, you know, commissioned by, like, basically someone was on staff at the Vatican or some place to be an artist, or someone very wealthy hired them to come and live on their property and be their family artist and paint pictures. And that was kind of, you know, artists had patrons for a long, long time. And I don't know.
Yeah, it would be great. Anyone want to employ Zaac?
No, but I think it's important though. Like, there's a for me anyways, I see that there's a bit of a risk there involved in, like, if you're kind of removed from sort of a, you know, everyday normal life. Like if you just get to, not many people get to just, you know, not really do anything but just, you know, walk around town looking for inspiration for something. Like that's a pretty rare place for anybody to be in. And so if you're in just living life and the relationships, the people that you know and love and care about, and you're actually, you know, just living, I think those are the most inspiring places to be, really, anyways. So I don't know, I wouldn't really want to be too
hard and fast.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm aware of time, and you do have some more gifts that you would like to bring us this evening.
Songs. She means songs.
Songs. But thank you so much for being a part of this, and thank you to people for coming out. And let's be aware of what's going on around us in our local communities, but also in places that maybe seem far away. Thanks for coming out, everyone.
So, yeah, thank you guys all so much for coming and supporting local music, local business. It really means a lot, so thank you. You guys want to come back up? Okay.